All right, everybody, what's going on? What's good? Good evening. This is your brother, your friend, your homie, your confidant. I'm coming to you live and direct with another edition of Views from the Man Cave. Um, we're going to switch it up a little bit tonight. I know some of the other lives have been, have been a little bit different, but we're going to do a little bit, we're going to do something a little different tonight. We're going to talk about my guest and I, Miss Mary Sank, we're going to talk about the zodiac signs, pros and cons of dating each sign. Mary Sank she's definitely the subject matter expert between the two of us. So I'm going to let her do her thing in only the way that she can do it. And I'll chime in here from there, but I'm going to let her, have the space to kind of flow and talk about certain things within the zodiac, moons, rising, ascending, descending, air signs, water signs, all that good stuff. She's gonna break it down for y'all, and I'm gonna chime in here and there. So I just want to introduce her, Miss Mary Sang. Good evening.
Hey guys, what's up? How's it going, Frank?
Everything is good, man. Mary Sang, we kind of been, I've been following Mary Sang for a while. One thing I will say about Mary Sang, she is, among other things, she's very intelligent, very well spoken, and she's very passionate, about certain things. So I think this topic being one of them. So yeah, so we're gonna get into it, and I'm gonna let her do her thing. But before we do that, I just want to talk about the climate of some things that's going on right now in the country. If you're not aware, there was a brother by the name of George Floyd in Minnesota, who was murdered, by some police officers, and we have that going on. A lot of people are starting to understand, what Colin Kaepernick kneeled for. They should have known it already, but if they didn't know, this is one of the reasons why right here. And then we had another lady in Central Park, who called the police on her brother, because he just wanted her to put a leash on her dog. So we saw it live and direct. She called, and she did the whole I'm threatened, I'm scared, all that good stuff, trying to get the cops to come. But luckily for that brother, it played out safely. He wasn't harmed or anything like that. But this climate, man, it hasn't changed. It's not going to change. We all saw what Joe Biden said, on his interview with Charlemagne the God, talking about if you don't, I mean, basically, if you don't vote for him, if you don't vote Democrat, you're not black. So um, those are a lot of the trending topics right now. But so the climate is a little sketchy for us. It's kind of always been that way. If you're in the know, if you're woke, if your mind is right, you understand what time it is out here. So just govern yourself accordingly. Be smart, be safe, man, because that's just how we have to move and operate. As being black people in this country. So on that note, I'm going to let Marisek do her thing. I'm going to mute myself, and I'm going to let Marisek introduce herself and get right into the topic: zodiac signs, pros and cons of dating each sign. So please go ahead and do your thing.
Hey guys. Okay, I'm gonna jump right in. But the thing I want to express first is that what I'm gonna say is going to pertain mostly to a man or woman's moon sign more so than their sun sign. A lot of us know our sun sign. That's typically that your sun sign is what sign was at the rising when you were born. But your moon sign is actually how you identify yourself, how you emotionally operate, how you go about things emotionally, and how you actually move about life. So this is going to pertain more so to the moon sign than let's say the sun sign. So sun, moon, and Venus sign is what these are going to more so pertain to. So if you know the person that you're interested in, moon, sun, or Venus sign, this will really help. And their rising too. So we're going to start with the first zodiac sign of the zodiac, which is Aries, because Aries starts the zodiac off. So Aries man or woman, the pros about Aries people are they're adventurous. They love to go out and have a good time. They're very feisty. They're very fearless. Aries rules the sign of Mars, and Mars is about war, so they can be a little argumentative. There's never a boring moment with the Aries. Aries people love adventure. They're actually very athletic usually. So a person who has their sun, moon, or Venus in Aries, they don't like to sit still. So they're not gonna like to just be in the house all day. They're probably going crazy right now during this quarantine, by the way. But yeah. The cons of dating an Aries person is Aries, because it's the first zodiac sign of the zodiac. Aries people can be very impulsive. They're a child of the zodiac. So when you're dealing with an Aries person, they can lose interest very fast, extremely fast, and it's kind of like the new toy effect with Aries, because they like you and they're so passionate about you, and out of nowhere they just kind of stop talking to you, because it's like once they play with you for a minute, they kind of just lost interest in it. But I'm also going to give you a sign that the person doesn't like you. So the thing with Aries is, if an Aries person isn't interested in you and you've shown your interest in them, the beauty about the sign of Aries is they're honest. The Aries is just gonna flat out tell you that they're not interested in you, so just move on. And like, that is the beauty about the Aries that I really, really, really love, is that the Aries person is just gonna be flat out honest. And I know, because I'm a Mercury in Aries. So if they're not interested in you, you're gonna know. You don't have to worry about them leading you on or anything like that. So yeah. The second sign is Taurus. This is actually my favorite zodiac sign because I have a moon and Venus in Taurus. The good pros about dating a Taurus is the stability, the consistency. A Taurus person.
Let me stop you real quick. I just want to say that this is a special one for me. My wife is a Taurus, so I'm interested. I mean, I have some ideas, okay, some experiences, but I'm interested in your take on Taurus.
Taurus people, because I can talk about Taurus all day because I'm a Taurus. Taurus moon, I'm a Taurus moon and a Venus in Taurus. So Taurus, we like to have our routines. We like to know you know where you're gonna get with us. We're pretty stubborn too, so the consistency with us is for someone who likes routine and likes consistency, it's a really good thing. Also with Taurus was Venus, and Venus is about beauty and love. So Taurus are very great lovers, you know. They love quality and seeing the beauty in things. They like they enjoy the arts. They enjoy tradition. They enjoy the antiques of things. So the pros of dating a Taurus person is, you know, they're always going to be there for you. As long as you're not mistreating them, they're always going to be there for you. You don't have to, you know that a Taurus has your back. They are usually the friend to go to when you need advice and you need someone to be sound. Give you sound advice, give you realistic advice. They're slow moving. So they don't rush into relationships often. They typically take their time to get to know that person. A Taurus is also about investment in what they love and value. So a Taurus person, if they're going for a relationship with you, they're going to invest in you. They do not waste their time. If a Taurus is not interested, they do not waste their time. I'm pretty sure Frank knows this.
I do, very much so. I do.
The cons of dating a Taurus is we're pretty stubborn people. I have a Taurus moon, and people who are on my page know that whatever I think is what I think. I ain't trying to hear what you're talking about. I'm not really flexible, and whatever you're saying, what my opinion is my opinion. I'm not really trying to change it. They also can be the type to possessions are very important to them. So they don't like if you ever go on a trip with a Taurus, they don't like people touching their things. They're very particular about their stuff and what they own. Like, this is mine, please don't touch it. A Taurus also can have a very bad temper when you, like, if you think of it, Taurus is ruled by the bull. So I'm saying about a bull.
Mm-hmm.
If you think of bulls, when a bull is upset, you need to get out of the way, because bulls usually aren't very temperament. Like, they have a good sense of calmness, but once a bull is upset and they're charging for you, it's over with. So they can have pretty bad tempers once you push that wrong button for a Taurus. I'm pretty sure Frank probably knows this too.
I do. I love you, baby. I do.
What have you experienced though with your wife being a Taurus?
Okay. So everything that you said is true. I don't know a lot about the zodiac signs, even though I'm interested in it and I want to learn more. But I do know that Tauruses are earth signs.
Yeah.
So an earth sign is basically what it sounds like. It's the earth. It's a rock. It's something that's solid. You know what I mean? It's not going to change much. Regardless of what environment it's in. A rock is going to be a rock, whether you put it on top of a countertop or if you put it in a glass or a bowl. It doesn't change its shape. It is who it is. But Tauruses are, and my mom is a Taurus as well. But my wife swears up and down that April and May Tauruses are completely different.
They are.
But my wife, she's very dependable. She's very reliable. She loves life. She's more structured. You know what I mean? I'm the one in our relationship that being a Scorpio, and I know you'll get to Scorpios later, but I'm the one that's kind of like, let's do this, let's do that. Let's go over here, let's explore this. And in her mind, she's more she's willing to do it, but she's more structured. Okay, how is it going to look? How much money do you need to put to the side for this? And being on top of the fact that she's an accountant as well. So she's very structured, she's very detail oriented. Tauruses do tend to be stubborn, you know what I mean? So I've had to play the matador, you know what I mean? Over the years, but for the most part, man, Tauruses and my wife, very laid back, very calm, will do anything for you, but yeah, you don't want to, I've seen it, in dealings with other people, you don't want to get on the wrong side of that bull, you know what I mean? If you don't want to do that. So that's my take on it. But our balance is great. You know what I mean? We're kind of polar opposites.
You are Taurus, opposite Scorpio.
So yeah, we like the same things a lot, but for different reasons, and they complement each other well. So it works for us. Yeah.
So the next sign is everybody's favorite zodiac sign, Gemini. Everybody loves a Gemini, don't we? We just all love Geminis. The pros about dating a Gemini, because I have a Mars a Gemini, so they're very intellectual. They love conversation. Gemini rules communication. It's about, mental stimulation. Gemini's an air sign. So these people can talk to you for hours about multitudes of topics, right? These Geminis tend to want to know your mind. They want to get inside your mind. They want to know what you think about this and what your opinions are. They are very great at conversations. There's never if you like a partner who is mentally stimulating, who you can have conversations with about different topics, politics, and all of that, a Gemini is one that's going to really, really be good for this, right? Also with Geminis, they tend to be more flexible when it comes down to dating. They're not very stronghold as a Taurus who's like, we gotta be in a relationship. A Gemini is just going with the flow. They're not gonna necessarily pressure you into a relationship. They like to let things flow how it flows. So if you're the type of person who likes the easygoingness, Geminis are really good with that. The cons of dating a Gemini is Geminis get bored very easily. They can lose interest easy, just like the Aries can. Geminis can also, they're a mutable sign. Geminis also can be known to be cheaters. Unfortunately, if you're not mentally stimulating them, they also are known for, because it's the sign of the twins, they also are known for having multiple partners too. They can want more than one person. And they don't feel like they can sometimes feel like they can't get everything they want in one person. They tend to not want to be tied down too much. They like their freedom. So it's kind of, and then they can also have two different sides of them, because there's a Gemini, they represent the twins. So you can have a Gemini 1 minute they're so nice and sweet to you, and the next minute they kind of have an attitude out of nowhere, because just depending on how the wind blows. That's kind of how it goes with Gemini. But yeah, so the next sign is Cancer. This is my least favorite zodiac sign for some reason. I'm a Leo rising, so I have Cancer on the 12th house. So I really don't like people going into my 12th house. If you know anything about the houses, I don't really like people in my 12th house. But Cancer, the good thing about Cancer is they're very emotional. Cancer is the mother of the zodiac sign. So Cancers really feel their emotions. They represent the moon in the zodiac. So Cancers, they also represent the home of the chart. So Cancers really, really make for a good home life. If the Cancer loves you, they're gonna try their best to make the home life comfortable, and they want you to come home and be peaceful. Cancers also can relate to you emotionally. They're gonna try to relate to you and understand your feelings. Cancers are very emotional sign. They love love. A Cancer is going to, if they love you, they're going to really want to make you feel emotionally secure with a Cancer. The downside of dating a Cancer is they can be emotionally manipulative. Honestly, they can be emotionally manipulative. They can also be when you hurt their feelings, they hold grudges. A Cancer can hold grudges. My cousin is a Cancer, and we travel a lot together. And when she gets mad at me, she can be mad for. I'm like over it, like in the next 5 minutes, and she'll still be mad. Like it takes a little bit of time to get over it. And it's not even that serious. They're very sensitive. Cancers are very sensitive. They also can feel as though what they feel emotionally means that it's right. Whatever they're emotionally feeling, that is what is the right thing with a Cancer. So that can also be kind of tricky, because, as we all know, that just because we feel something emotionally doesn't necessarily mean that is actually what is happening. They can get offended easily, a Cancer. They're very sensitive. Crybabies, someone said it. I was trying to avoid saying crybabies, because Cancers don't like being called crybabies, but yeah, crybabies. The next sign is Leo. And as a Leo rising, because your rising is my ascendant, I'm a Leo ascendant. Leos are very bold. Leo represents the lion. They're represented by a lion. So these are the Hollywood. Leo also represents Hollywood. So the good thing about dating a Leo is they will, if they like you, they will splurge on you. I've dated plenty of Venus and Leo men, and they like to buy you a lot of things. They don't mind buying you gifts. They don't mind spending time with you, giving you their attention. They also really want you to feel like royalty to them. A Leo likes to be the star of your life. They want to come into your life and be, bring you that excitement in your life. The beauty about the Leo is that they're very loyal. Leos are extremely loyal signs. They have a wonderful sense of humor. I personally think I'm a pretty funny person, but they they're also a fire sign like the Aries, so they really like adventure. They love adventure. The cons of dating a Leo is they can be pretty dramatic. Let's just be real. They can be pretty dramatic. They like in their relationships, they like to stir up the pot to create drama because drama excites them. That's how they determine if you like them or not, or how invested you are in them when they can, get a rise out of you and create the dramatics that you may necessarily not want, They can also want to they want a lot of attention. A Leo needs a lot of attention, and they tend to go out of their way to gather the attention from you. So if you're not paying a Leo attention, they might break up with you. If you have other things to do, if you're not making them your top priority all the time, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They are like, what the heck? I need attention. Hi, I need attention. Like, they need a lot of attention. So be prepared to spend all of your time with them and making sure that they know that they're the number one spot in your life.
Yes, both of my children are Leos. So, yeah, so I feel that every day.
But Leo children are also they're good actors. They're good actors.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Hollywood actors and actresses are Leos. If you notice, a lot of them are Leos, or they have some kind of Leo in their chart. So yeah. The next zodiac sign is Virgo. The good thing about a Virgo is Virgos rule the 6th house. So they rule details and organization and health and fitness and working out and it also rules criticism and over analyzing. So with a Virgo, a Virgo is going to really, they also rule like being a helper. Dating a Virgo is going to want to be of assistance to you in your life. A Virgo loves a lot of my friends are Moon and Virgos, or they're Virgo sons, and Virgos like to assist you. They like to help you with something. Virgos are also rule communication because they're also ruled by Mercury, such as Gemini too. So they're very good at speech. Virgos can articulate themselves very well. My daughter is a Virgo rising, and she always shocks me with how articulate she is at 10 years old. Virgos also are motivational. So they're earth signs. So a Virgo is going to be consistent with you. They're not ones to generally, they're not ones to waste your time. Virgos also like to, they like to really, really put investment in you. So when a Virgo likes you, they take on your interests and your hobbies. They want to know what you're interested in. They're going to try to help you with those things and try to motivate you with them. So the downside of dating a Virgo is Virgos can be nitpicky. They can nitpick the heck out of you. Virgos can be very critical. They like to criticize, but they don't like to be criticized back. They don't like you correcting them because they're very sensitive about that, but they will correct you and criticize you all day. Virgos also can be very passive. So like I said about Gemini, when it comes down to being a mutable sign, mutable energy, they are more known or more prone to cheating. Rather than leaving a relationship, a Virgo is kind of prone to stepping out instead of just telling you they don't want to be in a relationship with you anymore because they don't like confrontation. They're more likely to start a whole new relationship while being in a relationship with you, because instead of just saying I don't want to be with you anymore, because they just avoid confrontation at all costs. The next zodiac sign is Libra. And the beauty about Libra is Libra rules partnership. So Libras are all about relationships. They love being in a relationship. If you know any Libra person, they're rarely ever single. My brother's a Libra, and he literally, I look up and he has like a wife, and then they divorced, and he got a girlfriend, and they got married, and they divorced, and he got a girlfriend. I was like, where did these people come from? Oh my God! Like he's never actually ever single. Like I'm trying to think what time my brother has ever been single. They love love. They love to be in relationships. So the Libra is, and they also they like balance. Libra is ruled by the scales, the justice scale. So they love to bring balance in a relationship. Libras don't really like to. They're more willing to compromise in a relationship than other zodiac signs because they want to be in a relationship. Libras are also very artsy, so they really enjoy the art, and they also like to go to art galleries and things of that nature. The downside, though, of dating a Libra is they don't like confrontation, so they typically tend to avoid it. If you're trying to get a Libra to talk about, an issue in the relationship, they are very uncomfortable with that. They're very uncomfortable with hot topics. So they tend to want to, hurry up and get out of that conversation. They might say things to, please you instead of telling you the absolute truth because they just don't like hurting their partner's feelings. They like things to be always good. They don't like the bad side of a relationship. Libras also want a lot of time and they want to spend all of their time with you. If you're not spending all your time with a Libra starts to suspect something. So that's another thing. Libras can also get very engulfed in their relationships. So they can the Libra women do this a little bit more. So they can tend to lose themselves in their relationships because they make their relationship their primary focus. I think you had something to say, Frank, about Libras. Do you have a Libra in your life?
No, I don't.
Okay. Now, this is Frank's favorite part, right? So the next zodiac sign is Scorpio.
So
the pros of dating Scorpios. Oh my goodness. Scorpios are very passionate. If you want someone if you like intensity, if you like the mystery, if you like the feeling of being captured by your partner, if you like the high sexual energy of a Scorpio, you would really love to date a Scorpio because Scorpios with sex and they're very passionate. Scorpio is also about the depths of life. They're not about the superficial things. Scorpio also rules the 8th house, which is occult and sex and death and others resources. If you like that passionate, intense relationships that get your blood boiling and your heart pumping, Scorpios are really good for that. If you like someone who's going to really try to get to know all of you and all of your darkness, all of the things that you want to keep repressed, things that you probably wouldn't want to tell other people, Scorpios are the ones who sit and look at you in your eyes like you tell them your deepest, darkest pain and trauma, and they love that thing. If you want someone who you can really let out all of your repressed feelings and traumas, a Scorpio is really good for that. They're gonna try to bring that out. Scorpios are very loyal too. They're extremely loyal. The downside of dating a Scorpio is they can be very jealous and possessive. Scorpios are extremely jealous and possessive. They can be very suspicious. They can assume things that aren't necessarily true. Let's say, for instance, they see you talking to the opposite sex and they can assume.
Who is that? Yeah. Who are you talking to? Who is that?
Yeah, they want to know. They want to know who the hell is that. They have trust issues too. Someone else said it. They have trust issues. They are very suspicious. They want to know. Well, why were you talking to them? Like, what? Who do you know them? Do you like them? Are you trying to be with them? Like that's a Scorpio. And sometimes it's warranted, but other times it's kicking up dirt for no reason. It's that's the thing with my Taurus moon and a Scorpio moon person. It's like they kind of kick up dirt when it's not necessary, and I'd be like, "What the heck are you talking about? Like, what are you making up stuff for? Like, chill out." You know, Scorpios can also be very vindictive in a relationship. You piss them off or you hurt them, they are coming at your jugular. And just like the traditional ruler of Scorpio used to be Mars, now it's Pluto, and Mars currently rules Aries now. So the difference between an Aries is going to come at you directly if they want to go to war. A Scorpio is going to come at you in the mental and plan it out. Like they're not going to just go straight throttle for you. They're gonna think about how and what way I'm gonna get this person back. So you may not even see it coming. They studied you so much that they know exactly how to really get at you on a mental way, you know, because
I'm going to address it. I saw a few comments. I will address it. You know what I mean? Just I see you and you. And you. All right, I'm going to.
Oh, her boyfriend is a Scorpio. Oh my goodness, I like Scorpio men though. I like the moon. The moon and Scorpio can be kind of, but generally Scorpios tend to be. You know, I like all the dark and icky stuff that Scorpios like to dig deep into. So Scorpio men tend to be decent people. And Scorpio also, like I said, psychology. So I'm very big on psychology. What were you gonna say though, Frank, as a Scorpio? I know you want to chime in on what it's like dating you. I know I see your wife. She's like downside preach.
Yeah, well, you know, let me do this. You know, let me clarify a few things. You know what I mean? Again, what the sister's saying, Mary's saying is completely on point. I mean, obviously my wife vouches for it. And you know, all of my family, all of my defense team family vouch for it as well. They know what time it is. But you know, I feel like personally, and I'm gonna open up for a second. I'm very passionate. I'm very committed. I'm very loyal. I feel like Scorpios, you know, we represent the extremes. You know what I mean? You have extreme energy, extreme passion on either side. So there's really no middle ground with the Scorpio. We want all or nothing. We give all or we give nothing. So that's what we want. That's who we are. That's what we need as Scorpions. You know what I mean? I would say that we are very vindictive. We are the most vengeful sign in the Zodiac. You know what I mean? And we cut deep. You know what I mean? Like Marisang said, you know, because we studied you so much. We know you. We know the inner workings of you because we love so passionately. We you know we go deep. So so if you know, and that's both good and bad. You know what I mean? There are things like personally in my marriage, because I know my wife so well. We'll do things that she's never done, or we'll have conversations that she's never had. If she's like she's admitting it right here, but she's like, wow, like this he knows a lot of things about me that I didn't even think I didn't even know that I knew about myself. You know what I mean? And but there is a dark side to that as well. And we feel betrayed because we're so passionate and we're so loyal and we put so much work in that. And I know I'm not sure if Nicole is still in the house. I did see Nicole, but Nicole is a Scorpio as well. So we put so much time and effort and our energy and resources into the things that we love and that we like. And if we feel like we're not getting that energy back, we're going to be, we can be very vengeful, and we cut deep. We go to the jugular. You know what I mean? That's just how we move. And we are dark. We do have a sense of mysteriousness. we deal with death and rebirth. We're like the phoenix, you know what I mean, of the zodiac. So yeah, Scorpions, man, if you're somebody that's surface level, you don't want to rock with us. You know what I mean? You don't want to rock with a Scorpio. Scorpios are not surface level. We're not fake. We're deep. You know what I mean? We're dark. You know, we get into the crux of things. So it's nonstop energy. It's nonstop passion. You know, we are very sexual and sensual as well. So if that's not something that you want to do, if you kind of like, we don't casually date well. You know what I mean? We don't like, we want something real. You know what I mean? We want you to show that you understand that we want something real and that you're willing to complement that by you being real yourself, giving everything to it. Um, so yeah, I just wanted to say that I did want to defend us, all the Scorpions out there. We are very, we can be jealous. You know what I mean? I'm not going, especially early on. You know, when I first met her, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm not from here. I'm not from DC originally. So I'm from North Carolina. So when I came here, you know, DC is a big place, but it's very small too. So a lot of people know each other. You know, your cousin went to school with my cousin. I knew this girl and she used to date this dude over here. You know what I mean? And so we would go out the places I take out to eat. You know what I mean? We go to all these fly places, and somebody may walk up on it. Hey, you know, no, are you Rasha, right, from so and so, from this church, or you went to this school or whatever. And at first I had to catch myself because I was sitting there like, who the fuck is, who is this nigga? I had to, you know what I mean? I would really do that, you know what I'm saying, in my own mind. And then sometimes um I would bring it to her too, like, yo, who was homie? You know what I'm saying? How you know him? Like, you know, did y'all date or what? You know what I'm saying? So I do get it. Certain people can't really rock with that. You know, certain people are of the ilk where they say, look, who the hell, you know what I mean, or who you questioning like that? You know what I'm saying? Who are you to question me about anything I'm doing? There are signs like that, and I know we're gonna get to them because my worst sign as far as dating in my life was Sagittarius. Like, we never got along. We never, but I dated a few. You know what I mean? But yeah, we do have that energy. We can be jealous at times. We're very vindictive if it comes to that. So that's something that we have to work on. No doubt about it.
So then actually funny because the next zodiac sign is Sagittarius. So when we're talking about a Sagittarius people, like Frank said, they're not gonna like all that questioning thing, because Sagittarius was carefree. They rule the ninth house, which is about higher learning and philosophy and a long distance traveling and you know, our belief systems that we have built up from our childhood and what we believe in, our morality. So Sagittarius is also ruled by Jupiter. So the good thing about dating a Sag is they're going to introduce you to new things because they are such explorative people. There's no area of the earth that a Sag hasn't gone to. So they're gonna really introduce you and bring you into a new world. They're very carefree. They love to have fun. Sag people tend to be very funny, very charismatic, very easygoing. They are very passionate in a relationship. But the thing about dating a Sag, which is the con about them, is it's very hard to pin a Sagittarius down. It's very, very hard to get them into a relationship because they
Right.
like their freedom.
Right.
They don't like being questioned. They don't like being told what to do. They really, because a Sag is all about beliefs and philosophy and traveling. So they don't have time for all of what is, the relationship boggling them down. They want to wake up one day and they want to just go to France. They want to be able to just do that and not have to check in with anybody, So Sag people are very much so, like I said before, mutable energy, again, They can be cheaters. They can be cheaters. They can lose interest very fast. All fire signs are prone to losing interest very fast. So whether it's an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius, they can just get bored easy. They can just wake up one day and decide that you're just not that interesting anymore. And they love their freedom so much that they do not want to be boggled down. But as I said, yeah, I mean, it's never a boring time though with a Sag. Like, you're gonna enjoy yourself when you date a Sagittarius, but whether or not it's gonna be long term, I don't know. The next sign is Capricorn. I actually love Capricorn people. So Capricorns, the good thing about dating Capricorns is they're good with money. They are good with their money. Capricorns are very stable people. They're very consistent. They are going to come into your life to help guide you on the path of long-term consistency. So for a Capricorn, they're not gonna just come into your life and not bring some kind of value to it, whether it be help you with your business or, you know, get you with your finances or help you with your credit. They're gonna give you something of security. They're more focused on the foundation of the relationship. Capricorns are also earth energy, so they go the long term. They are in it to win it. You know, it's very hard to they don't get in a relationship 1 minute and then hop out of it the next. Like they're not like that. So the good thing is you're gonna know that they're gonna at least try their best to get into a relationship with you. Capricorns also are the fathers of the zodiac, so they have a stern demeanor about them. You typically with a Capricorn, if they're spending time with you because Capricorns are about time. They do not waste their time, okay? Their time is very important to them. If a Capricorn is spending time with you, especially the Capricorn men, if they are spending time with you, they like you. Because Capricorns do not waste their time. The downside of dating a Capricorn is, I have to really think about this because I really like Capricorn, so I have to really think about what's the downside of dating a Capricorn. If you don't like someone that's going to let you know when you are making bad decisions, yeah. If you're the type of person who likes to live in la la land and you're not very realistic, you're not very practical, that will get on your nerves. A Capricorn is the type of person that's going to say, well, why would you make such a silly decision? Why didn't you think about the future? Why didn't you evaluate all of the details before making this kind of movement? You know, they're ones that are going to hold your feet to the fire. They're not ones that's going to baby you. They're going to, if you think about what the father usually represents in the home, the mom is usually the nurturing one typically, and the father is the one who's more stern. So a Capricorn is going to make sure you know that you made a bad decision and why you made that bad decision. You shouldn't have done it in the first place. So if you're a person who doesn't want your partner to kind of parent you, yeah, that can get pretty annoying when it comes down to Capricorn. They also can be very workaholic. So if you want a partner that's going to spend all his time with you, yeah, no. Capricorns are very much so about work and making money, and they're going to spend, if they can live in the office, they would. So if you can't handle a busy man or woman, yeah, no. Gabe says they are extremely boring. Shut up, Gabe. But yeah, if you don't want a partner that's gonna parent you, Capricorns aren't for it. If you think the Capricorn is going to put you above their money, no, it's not going to happen. So the next zodiac sign is my favorite, Aquarius, because my daughter is an Aquarius. The good thing about dating Aquarius, they are innovators. Aquarians ruled by Uranus, so they are the people who, if you look at the fashion designers, they're the ones who have those like funky looking clothes where you're like, what are you doing? Like the outer space type of designs, and they're always before their time. You know what I mean? Like if you look back at different trends in the fashion industry, and you think about when that trend happened, it usually would have been an Aquarius or someone with, Aquarian energy who has, invented it 10 years before it actually became a trend. You know what I'm saying? So the good thing about dating Aquarius is they are about friendship. So if you're dating Aquarius, chances are you are their friend. You have to be their friend first to even get into a relationship with Aquarius. They love their space. They love their space. So, because when you think about relationships, studies say that most married couples deal with each other on a romantic level 10% of the time. And the rest of the time, you're actually interacting with each other as friends. So the beauty about dating an Aquarius is if they're your friend and you are in a relationship, you guys, they're more giving. You know what I mean? They're more likely to be less critical of your flaws because, when we're friends, we tend to not hyper focus on our partner's flaws because we're friends. We tend to be more accepting of our partner. They're very accepting of you if you can, pin them down into a relationship. The downside of dating Aquarius is they can be very emotionally detached. And they are tricky. They're very tricky when it comes down to the dating thing because Aquarius, if Aquarius person tells you they like you in a romantic sense, you might need to be worried because for them, romance is a little different because they're, like I said, they see things in a unconventional way. So if Aquarius likes you in a romantic sense, that doesn't necessarily mean they want a relationship with you. Now, if they tell you that you are their friend and they like you as a friend, then you have a way better chance of them actually wanting a relationship with you. It's kind of weird like that, right? But they were unconventional. Also, they can be pretty. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say narcissistic. I want to say self-centered in a way. They can think that they are so they always want to be the unique one in the group. So they try their best to be unique. Aquarius also dating them, they're very unconventional. They don't like traditional relationships. So they also can be the rule breaker. If you try to tell Aquarius that they can't do something, they're gonna break the rule just because. They are the rebel without a cause. I have a lot of Aquarius friends, and they can be very determined to break out of traditions. Sometimes with good intentions, and other times it's just because they just don't want to follow rules. So Aquarius, and also the thing is, because they're so emotionally attached, Aquarius can date you 1 minute and then they can disappear out of nowhere the next minute. Like it'd be like, what the heck happened? And honestly, you probably didn't even do anything. They just changed their mind. So the last sign of the zodiac is Pisces, and this is actually a special sign for me because I am a Pisces sun. The beauty about dating a Pisces is Pisces rule the 12th house. So Pisces people, they can be very, very dreamy. Like, they can be, when you're in a relationship with a Pisces, they can be very sacrificial. They will try their best to do for you what they're very, they believe in a fairy tale of love. So they can make you feel as though you guys are in some kind of Disney movie together and you're having the best fairy tale love affair ever. They're very sweet people. They're very nice and sweet people. They don't like a whole lot of drama. They typically aren't very confrontational. They're more go with the flow, let's not argue types. Pisces people. Pisces are also very forgiving people. They're very forgiving in terms of they don't hold grudges. They don't hold grudges. They also are very empathetic towards, their partners and others and how they feel. They will take on your feelings also a lot of times. The downside of dating a Pisces is they can get lost in a dream world. So if you're looking for a partner to be practical and stable, a Pisces, depending on other aspects in their chart, they might not fit the bill because they can be unreliable. Pisces, I remember watching Erykah Badu in versus Jill Scott, and Erykah said that she doesn't have a sense of time. She doesn't know what time is, and that's very true because they don't know. Like if you plan for them to meet you at a certain time, they can come show up 2-3 hours later because they just get so lost in their own world. Like they can also, with a Pisces, they can also hold on to their fantasies that they've created in their head about you. And if you try to get them to see the reality of the situation, this is more so with Pisces moon people or Venus in Pisces or Venus in a Venus or moon in the 12th house people. If you try to get them to see the truth of or the reality of what's going on, they can get really upset. It's very hard to get them to live in the actual world. Pisces are in a whole other realm of the universe. So trying to get them to stay feet planted on Earth is very hard. They can be very unrealistic with their expectations. Their expectations can be very high, and it can also, it's just not, they can be very, I'm trying to say, how do I say this? They can have an idea of what they want the relationship to be like, and that's not necessarily what the relationship actually is. But yeah, so that is all I have for the zodiac signs. Hopefully I did pretty good. I hope I helped. Anyway, Frank, do you have anything to add?
I do. I'm going to touch on it, but I just want to say that on this channel, I gear everything towards information. So when I had Marisane come on to kind of break down each zodiac sign and the pros and cons of dating them, but I'm not telling you to not date anyone. I'm not saying that I'm this and you're that, so it's not going to work and I'm not going to do it. No, it's not that set in stone. There are people in this world who have signs that are not compatible at all, and they've been married 20, 30 years, and they have a great marriage. And there are people whose signs are perfectly compatible with one another. Like you would think that their signs mesh very well, but their relationship is absolutely horrible. You know what I mean? So the zodiac and astrology is not designed to, it does not remove the human element. It does not remove the uniqueness of who you are as a person. There are lots of Scorpios out here, obviously, and we have some similar traits, but we're all different. You know what I mean? We can do different things. We take pride in different things. So I just wanted to kind of give people information. I didn't want to assume that everyone who's listening has thorough knowledge of the zodiac. But I just wanted, Marisang to come on and kind of give you guys a general understanding of what it is, and how each sign has qualities, both good and bad, and some things to look for, when you're dating people. You know what I mean? I've seen people um, who date and get into relationships, and when they find out what this partner's or what this person's sign is, excuse me, they'll automatically hit their book and they'll try to understand some different things. And um, it really did some good things for me too, because it made me understand certain things about my wife that I didn't get. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you're in relationships and you're like, look, why doesn't this person do such and such? Why don't they think like me? Or how is it that I can look at this and clearly see what it is, but they can't? You know what I mean? The zodiac helps you to understand that we all have different traits, so we see things differently, and so it creates a sense of balance in a relationship. Like this person is not necessarily supposed to think like you, act like you, enjoy all the things that you enjoy, but they have their own uniqueness to them, and combined with yours, there's supposed to be a certain sense of balance in that relationship. Um, and if it's not, you know what I mean, if you're not getting the balance, obviously, that you want or desire, um, then you need to make, your own assessment of that relationship and stay or go, as you see fit. But there are so many different levels of it. Marisang touched on a few of them, but you have rising signs, you have sun, moon, you have, if you're a water sign, if you're water signs are more, um, they can adapt to different environments. Like you look at water, regardless of what you put water in, if you put water in a short, fat cup and in a tall, skinny cup, the water is going to take the shape of whatever you put it in. So it knows how to adapt. You know what I mean? Earth signs aren't really like that. Like we talked about earlier with Taurus, whatever you put a rock in, it's going to be a rock, regardless. It's going to be who it is. It's not changing. You know what I mean? And it's going to be what it's going to be. So, so I just wanted Marisang. I know we talked offline about. I actually Marisang did a chart for me. You know what I mean? She did a chart for me. Kind of broke some things down about myself. Um, so I don't have many problems with you going through some of those things, because when she read it to me, it blew my mind because it was so spot on. So she did do a chart for me, and then she did like a synergy chart, for me and my wife, and me being a Scorpio, her being a Taurus, and she kind of broke some things down too about that. So I just kind of want, if Marisang is okay with it, for a few minutes to kind of just touch on both of those, like my, some general things about my chart, and then the our synergy chart with me and my wife, so you guys can get an understanding of how um, astrology and the zodiac can play itself out in a relationship.
Okay. Let me hold on. I have to pull it up. Hold on. There we are. There you are. Okay. So the interesting thing about Frank's chart. Hold on. Did that wrong? Let's see. Sorry, I'm pulling it up. The interesting thing about Frank's chart is he is a Scorpio sun, Scorpio moon, and a Scorpio rising. Gabe, don't rush me. It's actually funny because Gabe is an Aries moon, and Gabe's moon sits on my sun, which explains why we're such close friends. A lot of people don't know we're actually really close as friends, but because it's in Aries, we kind of curse each other out. But anyways, back to what I was saying. Frank is a triple Scorpio. That is a lot of freaking Scorpio energy, Frank.
I know.
Like I don't. Your poor wife. Oh my goodness.
She all right.
when she says damn, sometimes she feels like, God damn, I know what she means. That is a lot of freaking Scorpio. But I'm just gonna touch what I find to be very interesting though about Frank is that he has his moon conjunct his ascendant. So Frank really, his emotional nature and how he expresses himself, he could come off as very loving person, and because your ascendant sign is how you present yourself to other people. So when a person has a moon conjunct their ascendant, which is their emotional nature, they can be very emotionally accepting of people. When people first meet them, they can seem like very warm people. Frank may not necessarily, you might think that you know everything about Frank because it's in Scorpio, so you might think that he's an open book, but he's really not. But he still has that warm and inviting type of personality, which is actually interesting because he's a Scorpio rising. Scorpio risings tend to have a very back off type of energy. He's also, let me make sure I'm correct on this. He's also a Venus in Sagittarius, which is actually would explain why he dated so many Sagittarius women. Another thing that I want to keep in mind though is Scorpio moon in Scorpio is at its fall. So the moon doesn't necessarily do well in Scorpio. The moon is exalted in Taurus, but it's at its fall in Scorpio. So Frank, your moon represents your mother. I don't want to go too deep but the Scorpio is the 8th house and it's very deep. But the moon represents your mom. So Frank may not have a good experience with his mother. He may have some issues dealing with his mother because Scorpio moon people tend to have something dealing with their mom that wasn't a good experience growing up. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't want to go too deep. Now, when it comes down to, you wanted me to do the composite, right, Frank?
Yeah.
Let me see. So the composite chart is the relationship between two people's natal chart. So it's going to tell you the potentials of the relationship that you're in, right? And so I don't want to, I'm trying not to, do you want to tell them about how you guys met? Because I don't want to.
No, go ahead. Well, okay. I'll tell it, and then you can go ahead and go through it. I'm good.
Okay.
So yeah, for those who don't know, my wife and I, we met in March of 2006, March 15th. Actually, I remember the day. That was our first date. So the interesting thing about my wife and I is that we met online. We met on Black Planet. I don't know if y'all are old enough to know about Black Planet back in the day, but we got busy on there. It wasn't on Black Planet Love or nothing. You know what I mean? We just kind of met on there, started messaging one another, and for about a week or so, we were just chopping it up about life and music and goals and things like that. And so we finally decided to get up, you know what I mean, and start dating and start going out. And so we went out and we kind of fell into it heavy, and we've been together ever since. So my wife and I, we got married very fast. I met her. Our first date was March 15th, 2006. I proposed in May of 2006, and we eloped to Jamaica and got married August 10th, 2006. You know what I mean? So I went from meeting her on our first date to marrying her in 6 months. And I will say this, when I look back on it, you know what I mean? Because my wife and I, we laugh about it all the time. But when I look back on it, I'm like, I wouldn't tell my friends to do no shit like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? If my homie, if Gabe came to me, right, like if I knew Gabe before all this happened, right, Gabe is my homie. I love that brother. If I met Gabe before I met my wife, and he told me, Frank, look, man, I met this shorty, you know what I mean? We've been kicking it for, for a couple months. I bought a ring. I'm gonna propose. We're gonna get married. I would say, yo, what in God's name? Look, I'm happy that the coochie was that good. I'm happy that those cheeks were immaculate for you. But slow down. You know what I'm saying? Get to know this person. What about their family? What about what do y'all want to do? What do y'all want to go? Whatever. I would have told my brother, my physical brother, my Gabe, any man around me. If he came to me with that same energy, I would have been like, there's no way I can co-sign this. There's absolutely no way I can do it. So that's what happened. We met. I met her, and a couple months later, because it felt like we had been together for years because we kicked it every day. I mean, literally every day from our first date, we were together. We were on the phone, we were hanging out, you know what I mean? She would come see me, I would come see her. We would go on trips together, we would travel, like we would do everything. Like she was really like we were really, really close. We had an understanding. We both wanted the same things. We both wanted a serious relationship. We wanted to be married. We wanted kids. We wanted the house, the white fence, all of that. And so it just clicked. So it didn't really feel like it was 6 months. You know what I mean? It felt like it was really six. I knew her in 6 months better than I had known women that I had dated before her, that I had known 12 years. You know what I mean? That I had been around and dated off and on or whatever. So it happened fast. And fortunately we're still here, you know what I mean, almost 14 years later, still kicking it happy, doing our thing. But that's the whole story of our relationship. Met her, proposed, married in 6 months.
So when it comes down, when I first heard, that story, I was like, what? Really? 14 years and you guys only dated for 6 months? And then I did their synastry chart. And so I was like, oh, okay, I see it. Because the thing about it is, like I told you guys about Aquarius rules Uranus. So Uranus is about unconventionality. Uranus is fast moving. A lot of times people who okay, let me back up because I'm going a little bit too fast. Synastry is comparing two people's natal charts and how the planets are interacting with each other. So, for example, I'm a moon in Taurus and Frank is a moon in Scorpio. So Frank's moon is opposite my moon, right? Because Taurus and Scorpio are opposites on the chart. So basically, it's how each other's planets are relating to one another, right? So what I noticed that was so interesting is between Frank and his wife, they have so many Uranus, which is unconventionality, unconventional relationships, people moving fast, right? They have extreme amounts of Uranus contacts in their synastry chart. So Frank is ascendant in Scorpio, and his wife Uranus conjuncts his ascendant. Frank's sun conjuncts her Uranus. Frank's moon conjuncts her Uranus. Her moon conjuncts his Uranus. His Uranus opposites her Venus in Taurus, and then his Uranus trines her Mars. So when they say that they met and they just instantly were rushed head first into a marriage, it's all in the synastry chart, because typically with Venus and Uranus contacts and Moon and Uranus contacts, you feel a sense of liberation with this person. You feel like let's just let the wheels fall off. We let go of all of our normal restrictions. I'm pretty sure if you ask both of them, they have never done anything like that before. They probably are very, very slow moving normally in a relationship. But when they met each other, it was more so, it probably felt as if they had known each other their whole life. You know, and all the restrictions and the traditions that we normally hold when we meet people just went out the window. Because that's usually how it goes with Uranus type contacts. So another good thing that I noticed is they have really good, let me go to it, Moon and Venus contacts with each other. So for instance, they have Moon opposite Venus, which, so basically your Moon, like I said, is your emotional nature, right? And your Venus is what you love and value. So Frank's Moon in Scorpio opposites his wife's Venus in Taurus by 3 degrees, right? And oppositions are hard aspects, right? But the thing about it is you don't want to have too many trines and sextiles with a person, because let's be real here, relationships are about growth. They're about, you know, learning from each other. So when Frank's Moon, which probably Frank's Moon contributes to when he says he gets a little suspicious and he's like kicking up dirt, opposites his wife's Venus, she's able to balance him out and say, come on now, dude, you're doing too much. Because her Venus in Taurus is very practical. Frank's Moon in Scorpio can be overly suspicious. I ain't dissing Frank, but you know, can be overly suspicious.
That's so good.
And his wife's Venus in Taurus is very, as I have a Venus in Taurus, so it's very practical. Like she's gonna give, when they have, like you said in the beginning, they had these little situations where he's like, well, why, who is that person? Da, da, da. She's able to bring him a practical response. Dude, that's my friend from college. I've never dated him. Or why would you think I'll be flirting with the cashier at the grocery store, Frank? Be realistic. Why would I want to date a cashier guy? You know, something like that, like to reassure him that, because Frank, Scorpio moons need to be reassured a lot. You know, I'm not dissing Frank, but you know, they have to be reassured a lot. And for Venus and Taurus, it can be a little annoying. I ain't gonna lie, it can be a little annoying because we, as a Taurus moon and Venus, we don't understand why you making a mountain out of a molehill, out of an anthill. It's just like not even, you don't understand that. But also, Frank's moon trines his wife's ascendant, which is very, very good. So that means that how she shows up in the world is very compatible with his emotional nature. He enjoys the way, she's a Cancer rising, so he enjoys her nurturing nature, her loving nature. He enjoys her mothering side. So it fits well with how he is emotionally, which is a very good thing. Another thing that I noticed, I'm not trying to jump around too much, but I'm going to go to Saturn, because when you are thinking about a relationship, you really want to have good contacts with Saturn in synastry, because Saturn is long term. Saturn's about the practical side of a relationship. Saturn's going to give you, you know, because at the end of the day, we can have feelings for people all day and night, but if we don't feel a duty to them or obligation to them, or we don't feel, Saturn is that feeling for when the going gets tough, where we can be practical and say, hey, we have a family together, we have a home together, our day-to-day routines, we have a business wrapped up into this. We can't just throw the relationship away. Saturn is what you need to bring the practicality to the situation. Now, Frank and his wife, they don't necessarily have good Saturn contacts. They both have Saturn square the ascendant. So her Saturn squares his ascendant and his Saturn squares her ascendant, which it can lead to some misunderstandings. It can lead to people being very critical of each other, but it also can lead to each other's feeling as though they are feeling a sense of duty to the person that you're with, you know, a sense of reliability with that person, a sense of security and structure with who you're dating. Another thing, so I'm gonna, because I don't want to be all day, so I'm gonna go to the composite chart, to their composite chart. Now, the composite chart, like I said, is the relationship itself, right? So basically, the thing that jumped out to me, what screamed out to me, was in their composite chart, they have Saturn on the ascendant. Now, remember, I told you that in their synastry, they have extremes amount of Uranus contacts, right? Which led to them getting married in a matter of 6 months. But the thing with Uranus is that it moves fast, but it also burns out fast. It's like a hi, I love you, and then there's a bye out of nowhere, right? So them being married for 14 years, I would say contribute to the Saturn on the ascendant, because people, a married couple, Saturn represents our like I said, our security with each other, our responsibility to each other, our finances, our day-to-day routine. So Saturn on the ascendant means that their relationship is very solid, extremely solid. They are, I can see that I would be very shocked if they don't die together, grow older and die together. I would be very shocked if they ever broke up, because this relationship they have actually a beautiful composite chart. They have Saturn on the ascendant, and they also have this. They have Moon conjunct Uranus, so there's never a dull moment with them together. Like, they have enough excitement in their life to sustain 14 years together. They also have Moon squared to Venus in their composite chart. So these people really love each other, because when you're dealing with Moon and Venus, they're both the emotional and the love nature of the relationship. So by it being a square, yeah, they might have little arguments, but it goes a long way into saying that you and this person's attraction with each other typically will remain throughout the relationship. Most marriages have Moon square Venus in the composite chart. I'm trying to. They also have Pluto in the second house, so they're very secure in when it comes down to their finances and what they love and value. Pluto in the second house can bring a sense of, how do I say it? It can bring a sense of like they really together, whatever they obtain together, they are very much so protective over it. All of their assets and their values and their money, they're very protective together over keeping their resources together. But yeah, that's what I have that I found to be very interesting with you guys, this chart. Frank, do you have a question, anything?
No, I don't. I know when we talked offline about it, and you said, you saw it in the chart that you like, wow, you guys never really argue. Like, y'all never, you never, you rarely have an argument. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you saw that in the chart, and that's real. Like, people don't, people will see us and they'll talk to my wife and they'll say, does Frank ever raise his voice? Like, does Frank ever get mad? Because, I don't see him ever doing that. I don't see you doing that. And it's funny, but it's real. You know what I mean? Like, we really don't. I mean, we've been married almost 14 years, and I could count on one hand. I mean, one hand and have fingers left over where we had probably a serious disagreement where we didn't see eye to eye on something. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't really happen. And when it does, it's like, okay, we find that medium, and she's like, okay, look, I don't maybe see it or I didn't understand it, but I love you, and let's do what we have to do. You know what I mean? So yeah, so that was something. It was crazy. Like, when you read it to me, because it was real. Like, it jumped out on the, it jumped out off the page, and that's the beauty of it. So I would tell anybody, yes, it's considered like a pseudoscience or something like that. You know what I mean? But it's something to do, man. If you if you're interested in it, if you want to get a chart done about yourself or your relationship, or if you have questions about it, what I mean, I'm not really the one to go to. So I mean, Marisek knows way more than me. She, I mean, that's why I reached out to her and had her come on. But that's all I have. If anyone in the chat doesn't really have a question or two very quickly, then we can kind of close.
Well, just so you guys know, I'm actually a beginner, so I am still in the beginning stages of astrology. So I'm not a professional. I'm not like a professional astrologer. There are people who can really read your chart and break it down. The way that, in more in-depth detail than I can, because I'm still a beginner. I know a lot of people think I'm not, but I'm actually still a beginner. There's so much to astrology. You have your natal chart, you have a composite chart, you have synastry, you have transits. It's so much to astrology that's more than just a sun sign. So yeah. If anyone has any questions, though, I'm willing to answer a few questions before we bounce up out of here.
Mm-hmm.
I also, because I'm a tarot reader, so astrology really helps me to really break down what I'm reading as a tarot reader. You know what I mean? Because we think that because we are, for instance, I am a sun in Pisces, and Pisces is a water sign, right? But I'm a moon in Taurus, a Venus in Taurus. I have moon square Saturn, Venus square Saturn. I have a lot of Saturn in my chart. So Saturn is ruled by Capricorn, which is also an earth sign. So, and I'm a Leo rising, right? And a lot of my planets are in fire sign houses. So, so typically in tarot, the Queen of Cups will be a Pisces, right? But because I know my chart and I know that I only have 1 or 2 planets in water, my chart is like very small amounts of water. I don't show up as the Queen of Cups. I rarely show up as the Queen of Cups. I show up mostly as the Queen of Pentacles or the Queen of Wands. So being able to look at someone's chart and decipher that as well helps me a lot when I'm reading cards. But yeah. I wonder if Gabe has a question for his shit talking ass.
I didn't know Gabe was into it a little bit either. I mean, he was dropping a few jewels in the chat. I didn't know he was hip.
Gabe is not hip because Gabe is so freaking lazy. He still has to give me his birth time. He hasn't looked up his birth time, and it's been a whole year.
He might not know. He got to get his birth certificate.
Because he's lazy. He's supposed to have been ordered his birth certificate. He's just lazy.
Or you ask him, you can ask your mom. I know your mom know off the top. She know what time you were born. But
some mothers don't know. Some people mothers really don't
know. But I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna let you say I'm gonna let you close, say anything, any parting shots, and then I'll say a few things, and then we can wrap it up.
Okay, well, thanks for having me, Frank. I really appreciate you valuing my esoteric side of life. A lot of people know me from Facebook, from Kicking Up Dirt, but I also have a lighter side to me. But anyways, thank you again for having me on. If anybody would like to follow my YouTube channel, because I will be dropping, I'm going to be dropping more about my weight loss journey and more about my fitness and working out. So if you're into fitness and health and all of those good things, you can follow my YouTube channel. I don't have any content right now, but I will soon. So yeah, and thanks again for having me. Frank. I really appreciate it.
No problem. What's the name of your YouTube channel?
This one right here, Mary St. J.
Oh, Mary St. J. Okay, cool. Yeah. So Mary St. is she's gonna have some stuff popping soon. So go over there and check her out. I want to thank her for coming on and kind of breaking some of these things down. Like she said, to me, she's not a novice at all. She's an expert, but but she knows a lot more than I do. So, you know, the smartest people in the room know that they don't really know a lot. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there are so many different levels and layers and degrees to this. If you're interested in it, um, there are a lot of people out there who can give you some game on it. Um, I do like it. Again, this is a pro information channel. This is not a pro, do this, do that channel. I want to give you all the information that I can give you so that you can make the best decisions for yourself. Um, whether it be in your personal life, your relationships, career, whatever. Myself, Gabe, Ultimate Black Man Radio, like I've said it before, we are the league of extraordinary gentlemen. So that's the type of content you're going to get from us collectively and individually. So Gabe and I actually, first I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight, on a Tuesday night. I hope everybody had a good Memorial Day. It was Memorial Day is a special day for me. My best friend since I was in pre-K, since I was, eating Gerber in the sitting chair. You know what I mean? He passed away in Iraq to an IED. So Memorial Day hits me a little bit different. So I miss him. I love him. He was the first brother that my mom would ever let come to our house in the projects and come in the kitchen and go in the fridge without asking. You know what I mean? That's how close we were. His mom was our pre-K teacher, so we were very close. And he lost his life, so I always get a little emotional thinking about him and the relationship that we had growing up. But I want you guys to come back if you can tomorrow night. We're going to be right back at it, myself and Gabe. Um, we're going to be over here, a view from the man cave at 8:30 p.m. We're going to talk about men, black men, and sexual abuse. We're going to talk about, yes, you don't really hear that a lot. There are a lot of brothers out there, young boys, uh, young men who have dealt with sex abuse, who have been sexually abused as children, and it kind of hits us a little bit different. So Gabe and I are going to chop that up. I'm not sure exactly how we're going to break it down yet. We're going to talk offline later about how we're going to do it. But one of us is going to break down young boys being sexually abused and how that can affect them, in school and socially and things like that. And then the other one, we're going to talk about um, the residue of that in manhood, how men deal with it in manhood, in their career, in their relationships, in their marriages, things like that. So we're going to chop that up and break that down beautifully tomorrow night. I hope you guys can come out. If not, we're going to do the live and then, just be on the lookout for it on the channel so you can catch it later. But outside of that, again, I just want to thank everybody for coming through. Marisek again. So let me do this very quickly. So I'm all over the place. I'm on Facebook, as you all know. I have my page there, View from the Man Cave as well, on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram. I'm on Instagram at View from the Man Cave, no spaces, all lowercase. I'm on Twitter also, at View from Man Cave on Twitter. So if you're on any of those platforms, please come through, post up, like, follow, whatever. I'll do the same, and we can build that way. If you like the content here, if you like the way that it's been provided to you, please like and subscribe if you haven't done that already. And so I know most of you have, I know most of you guys have been with me from since day one, and I greatly appreciate that. But for those of you who are listening to this and you haven't, if it's doing something for you, if you get something out of it, please like it, please subscribe to the channel. And finally, if you want to support the channel, I do have a few ways for you to support the channel financially. So, I'm on Cash App. So it's $ FJR81 on Cash App and on PayPal as well. PayPal.me / View from the Man Cave. So on that note, Thank you. I love y'all. Hopefully y'all can come back tomorrow night. We're gonna chop it up. Black men, black boys, dealing with the trauma and victimhood of sexual abuse. So I see y'all then. Good night.